Welcome to Morning Infusion with Dr. V. Are you young or old and really don't know your path in life or what it would be? Well, my name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I'm the owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to teach nurses to leverage the knowledge that they already know, working from their computers around the world, creating generational wealth and owning their own time. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals and to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders that have overcome so that you know that the possibilities are endless. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment if you were ever told that you would not succeed. Remember to click the calendar link above if you want to create another stream of income and enroll in our 12-week course, VP Nursing Business Academy. Our special guest today is Dr. Aisha Harris. Dr. Aisha Harris is a PhD prepared registered nurse, Air Force retiree, and combat veteran with 26 years of active military service. She currently serves as the Quality, Safety, and Value Program manager and executive consultant for the largest electronic health record modernization initiative with the Veterans Affairs. Her passion is to inspire and motivate others, led to establishing her presence in the social media arena. She is the founder and chief encouragement officer of the Facebook group Motivational Moments Sister Society. When she is not inspiring women to step into their greatness, she is spending time with her favorite boys, her 13-year-old son, Dylan, and her new Irish doodle, Des. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So now from your bio, we know that you served in the military. So thank you very much for your service. Now, what was your primary reason for going into the military from the beginning? Like, you look like you're a girly girl. Like, the military didn't look like it was your thing.
Yes, and that was a struggle, to be honest, right? It's hard to be a girl in that environment. But I was in the Air Force, as you mentioned, and I joined the Air Force, honestly, for educational opportunities. I was in high school and I picked a college to go to, but I did not have any idea how we were going to pay for it. So with that being said, I ended up kind of college hopping for a little while. So I went to two colleges. I ended up with an associate's degree in business administration. And I said, this isn't nursing. How am I going to get my nursing degree? And one day I was driving down the street with my aunt. I'm from New York City. We're driving down the street and I saw this sign. It said, be all you can be. And I told my aunt I was going into the Army. And she said, you can't go into the Army. You can go to the Air Force. And I said, oh, okay, I'll go to the Air Force. And it was just that simple. I joined the Air Force to further my education. And it was, no kidding, a blessing because my aspirations to help others far exceeded my expiration and my expectations. I was able to help others in environments that I never even envisioned.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That is too funny. Now, were you a nurse? So you weren't a nurse when you first went in, that was later.
Right. Yes, that's correct. So when I signed up for the Air Force, my recruiter said to me, and this is always a funny story because recruiters aren't known to be truthful, but my recruiter was fantastic. And he shared with me, if you want to go to school, I'll get you a job where you can work during the day and go to school at night. And I'm like, this is fantastic. So I show up for my first day of work and I'm like, okay, so where's the school? I want to go to school. And my supervisor, who I admire and love dearly today, she said to me, you can go to school, but you have to complete what we call our career development courses. She said, you have to do those simultaneously. And if at any point you fail any of your courses, you're going to have to stop going to school and focus on your military work. And I said, oh, okay, that's no problem. And I exceeded in those areas. And it took me 7 years to actually go to nursing school.
Wow.
I got a scholarship to the University of Memphis. It's a reserve officer training scholarship, and I was so excited about that. And I graduated from the University of Memphis in 2001, and I joined the Air Force in 1992. So it was a long journey to get there, but I was determined to do so.
Right, right. And and that's to tell that story, it is the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one who
Mhm.
endures to the end. And see,
Yes.
a lot of people, what they do is they stop because they don't
Mhm.
see that, right? And you really, really need to be very focused, very intent, making sure that you get to that end result for sure.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
So now, why did you originally want to become a nurse?
You know, I will tell you that nursing is really my calling and
Ah,
helping others is my purpose. And I say that because I grew up, like I said, in Brooklyn, New York. And one day I remember I was not the best behaved girl in school. So one day, with my teacher, she was asking us all, "What is it that you want to do when you grow up?" And I jumped up out of my seat and I'm like, "I want to be a nurse. I want to help people." And from that day, I've just been dedicated to ensuring that I became a nurse. And the interesting thing is, I didn't understand what it really meant to be a nurse. I didn't understand the educational qualifications, what was necessary. I didn't understand any of that. All I knew is that nurses help, and I wanted to help. And I am just so thankful that God saw fit for me to serve in the world's greatest Air Force, to serve as a nurse and help people in areas that I never envisioned. Like, it's never in my path to go to Afghanistan to be in a wartime situation to help anyone, but God saw fit for me to do that. And that's why I say that nursing is my calling, because I always wanted to do that as a little girl.
oh, I love that story. And the reality is that nursing is a journey and that the rigor as it relates to the education is huge, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I tell people all the time, you got four right answers. You just got to pick the right one, okay? The best
Yes.
right one.
And I got my first C in nursing school, and I was like, "Oh my God, my life is over." And then some of the other women were saying, "You know what? No, it's not that serious, because C means continue." I said, "Oh,
I love it.
okay." I didn't get that memo.
I love it. I love it. People here say A if you're A, B, or C nurse. I mean that you all end up being a nurse.
That's right. That's true. That is very true.
So, but I love that continued. Now you have your PhD in nursing. Well, you have your PhD in health administration, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So now, why did you seek this highest level in health administration, and what was some of the obstacles, and why did you choose health administration over nursing? Um, so answer that question first, if you could.
I chose that because I had aspirations of opening my own assisted living facility and elder daycare.
Okay.
And I figured the healthcare administration background would allow me to have the financial savvy and give me those tools that I needed to run a successful business. So that's why I chose a PhD in healthcare administration. And honestly, I chose a PhD because I already said I have 2 associate degrees. I did not want to repeat having another master's degree. And I've learned in hindsight that school was just my escape for being in the military and doing things necessarily not as I chose, right? It's a different environment. So it was my escape. And I just became a lifelong learner, and I loved every second of it.
I love it. I love it. And
Yeah.
and that's very true. I'm glad that you said that because a DNP, which I have a DNP, so a DNP
Mhm.
in nursing, I didn't learn that financial savvy. I mean, I know it because I know it on the outside of the school world, but
Mhm.
giving you that financial savvy is huge.
Yes.
And I remember one of the ladies that I used to. That was one of my mentors. She said that the very same thing. She said, I asked her because I had a master's and I said, do I need to go back to school to get my MBA? And she was like, no. She said, why would you get 2 masters? She said, you need to go
Mhm.
back and get your doctorate. She
Mhm.
said,
Mhm.
because then that puts you as the expert in the field. And I was like, okay,
Mhm. Yep. Mhm.
okay, okay.
Yes. Mhm.
So now
Mhm.
what are some of the obstacles and challenges that you faced along the way?
Whoa. Well, let's see. There were 5 moves. I was deployed to Afghanistan. I had to separate from my son. My son was actually born when I started my PhD, and my mother passed away. And what else happened during that time? Financial challenges, sometimes having to trying to own multiple properties and pay rent where I was staying. It was just a lot happening during that time frame. But I was just so stuck on not making sure that my son wasn't a statistic. I was already a single mom, and I wanted to provide my child with opportunities. And I knew that this doctorate would open different doors for me, and I needed to set that stage for my child and be that example for him.
I
Mhm.
love it. I love it. And that's one thing about children is they really, really do give you that drive a lot of times, because that's one of, people talk about your why, and one of my whys is for
Mm.
children. One of my whys is to make sure that they don't have to go through the same, obstacles that I have to go through. Of course, they're going to
Yeah.
learn some things, and you know, they have to be taught some things, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that they have the things that they need, for sure. So I love it. I love it. Now, after being in the military, you pivoted out to owning your own company. What is the name of the company, and what's the primary customer base that you serve?
So yes, and we were talking about that. So my company is Elaris Staffing and Consulting, and I established that because of my aspirations to help women transition from the military, primarily healthcare professionals. I like to stick with nursing because it's easiest. And I'm still in development with that process. And from that, this is where my passion project evolved. So as I'm building my empire, I call it, I am focusing right now on my passion project, which is the Motivational Moment Sister Society. And that's where we help women to step into their greatness and realize that they are absolutely amazing. And it's time to take them off of mute. We're going to hit that mute button because we have to let our voices be heard and step
That's right.
out and do the right thing. Hmm.
It's interesting because I had my coaching clients last night, and we were just talking about that very thing. We were talking
Hmm.
about the fact that, whether your voice is heard in the entrepreneurial world, or whether your voice is heard in the hospital or the organization or the agency
Hmm.
in which you are at, the reality is that your voice needs to come forth, right?
Yes.
Because if
Mhm.
if it is not, then what happens is, they don't know that you're as intelligent as you are. Right?
Right.
In
Yes.
the back of the room, and you have to listen, right? But you
Hmm.
still want to give them what they need in order to understand that you are a key player for that table, and you want to
Absolutely.
be at the table, right? So that
Yes.
you don't get eaten
Yes.
at the table.
Or I say this, bring the table to the table, right? Because you're it. And a lot of times, and that was my struggle, honestly. And that was part of my motivation for establishing the Sister Society, because I grew up in a house where children are to be seen and not heard. And then you join the military, and there's different expectations there. So as I was transitioning from that environment, I had to reprogram my brain and do a little bit of introspection and think about who I am as a person. What are my true core values? What do I stand for? So yeah, that's quite a journey for sure.
And I love how you just found your path in that, and you pivoted. You did whatever you had to do in order to make
Mhm.
it happen. And so I know it's going to be an amazing thing, and I'm super excited that we're attached to each other. Now,
Yes.
who has been someone who has been influential in your life, and why were they so impactful?
I will tell you. So my mom is first and foremost. I thank her for her strength, and she was a no nonsense kind of girl. So what I've appreciated about that is in my scariest moments when I just feel like I can't make it, it's her strength that keeps me going. That's how I survived Afghanistan. That's how I survived some of the toxic environments that I've been in my professional career. And that's how I wake up every morning just thinking that, wow, you can get through anything. Don't you worry. And as a kid, we used to grow up and saying, I'm from Brownsville, never ran, never will. And that's the thing, right? I never run from anything. And my mom helped me with that. And then my dad, right? He was that kind yet strong force. And he helped me understand how amazing I am. He gave me confidence. I thought I could conquer the world with him by my side. And losing both my parents, it hurts, but I just live knowing that I make them proud with some of my decisions.
I love it. I love it.
And in my nursing career, I'll have to give that to Terry Bailey. She is, when I tell you, she is just a fantastic nurse, a fantastic leader. When you talk about transparency, you talk about keeping it real and just being that strength that you need. She's that. And I've appreciated her for so much. And there's so many other women that have been pivotal to my success and helping me just become that woman that I am today. My brothers, my family, they support me and it's so appreciated.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And if Terry Bailey, I want you to show this video to Terry Bailey. Okay. So she knows
Oh,
how
yes.
influential, because
Yes.
a lot of times what happens is we tell the stories, and I'm guilty of this for sure, is I will tell a story about someone and then I won't reach out to them and be like, look, you were very influential in my life. I just want to
Yeah.
know that. Right. And
Hmm.
and what you said about your parents is huge, because my grandson, I remember he used to come home from school and he used to say I hate school, and I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, you like that school? He was like, I do not like that school. And so early in the morning, of course I didn't take him to school every morning, but when I would take him to school in the morning, I would say to him, I said, look, I say, Taylor, I say, say I'm going to have a good day, right?
Hmm.
And so he would say that, and we would say that 3 times.
Ah, the
And then
affirmations. Yes.
right, and then I would, afterwards, I would ask him, I'd say, "What is your name?" And he would tell me his name, Taylor, whatever his name was, and I'd say, "Your name is Dr. Taylor," and then whatever his name. And
Mm,
he would say to me, he said, "Okay," and so he would always repeat that to me whenever I would ask him. And not that I say that he wants to be a doctor, right? But I want him to know that his
to have
possibilities
that
are,
presence.
that's
Yes.
right, it's
Yes.
limitless.
Hmm.
And it's huge that we acknowledge that with our children. So I'm super excited that your parents acknowledge that with you, because it sounds like they were very strong people in your life. So
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Yes.
So now, what is the one thing that you would tell a new nurse that's just going into the nursing profession for the first time?
There is so much to say. This is like a whole segment. So the one thing that I have to say, because it was one of my greatest challenges, I say be you. Be you unapologetically and understand your why. Right. And I say that because as a novice nurse, it's just critically important to be that sponge and learn as much as you can. But as you learn all of these things, you have to actually check your own pulse to make sure you understand what's really going on around you. Because people are going to try to guide you in all these different paths. And if it's not true to your heart, right, it's going to be difficult. Allow your passion for your profession and your compassion for your patients to lead you, and you'll never go wrong.
That's right. That's
Mhm.
right. You're so true. I remember going into the nursing profession and not absolutely not having any idea of what I wanted to do. So I went the med surg route, like everybody tells you to do, right?
Yes.
And then I
Me
went down,
too.
and so then I went down to the emergency department one day, and they had
Ah,
this big scene where this young girl was pregnant. I didn't even when she came in, I didn't know she was pregnant. She ended up seizing. The mother came in and she was falling out on the floor because she didn't know she was pregnant. And it was, and I was like, see, these are my people.
this is where I need to be. My home. Yes. Yes.
And so
Yes. Yes.
it was from there on, I was like, that's where I'm gonna be at right there. I love it. Now,
Absolutely.
how do you define wealth?
Oh, great question. Wealth, I define wealth as your health, your mental, spiritual, and physical well-being is so important, and those are the cornerstones to get you to that financial mindset in order to be really successful. Because I think that people always associate wealth with money.
Mhm.
And if you're not mentally sound with your decisions or you have the right mindset, if you're not physically healthy, it's going to be impossible for you to accumulate any level of wealth. So I associate wealth with your health.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, what can those women who are transitioning out of the military into their professional careers outside of the military, where can they find you?
Well, my Facebook platform is where I am most of the time. You can check out my website. It's elaris.com, ELARRIS.com, or you can shout us out on our Facebook page, Motivational Moments Sister Society, where we have a haven of positivity to help women achieve their next level greatness.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I love it. Well, my name is, and thank you so much for
Absolutely.
joining us today.
Yes.
My name is Dr. Viola Pierce, owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide and with Dr. V, where our goal is to teach nurses to leverage the knowledge that they already know, working from their computers around the world, creating generational wealth in only their own time. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals and to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders such as Dr. Harris that have overcome so that you know that the possibilities are
Yes.
endless. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment if you were ever told that you would not succeed. And remember to hit the calendar link above if you want to create another stream of income and enroll in our 12-week course, VP Nursing Business Academy.